Muchas gracias. Ya estoy preparado. I'm ready. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. For the ones that did not switch to the other talk, and no, I'm kidding. Both of them are interesting, and that's a part that I always feel a struggle in conferences that have multiple tracks. Oh my God, which one? When there are multiple that you're interested on. But thank you, Blanca. Thank you for the warm words. I really appreciate that. And yeah, welcome everybody to this Selenium Conference 2025, reporting from Valencia. Okay, no, that's a track for the videos that I've been doing upstairs. But well, today we're gonna be talking about a topic that many are like, what? Isn't that like something from another area of IT? What does that have to do with Selenium functional testing? Well, today we're gonna dive a little bit further into what is this thing, this synthetics. It always reminds me of this. In Spanish in Mexico, we had a series where the synthetics were the fake robot humans that were walking around. So today, well, I bring you a few robots. You're gonna be seeing a bunch of them. They're gonna be kind of representing the actions. What are these synthetic things that we can do? But before we get into the topic, for the ones that do not know me, I am Leandro Melendez, also known as Señor Performo in the low words of the internet. And well, I am a presenter. I like to bring education about performance, about IT, best practices, and even so many other problems that we often have. Often I collaborate with the QA Minds community, multiple communities, whatever. I am giving a stage, yeah, let's go, right? I have as well a blog that I have not paid that much attention in a while, but there's one post coming soon. I've been working a little bit back on my blog. The pyramid of the automation pyramid. It has other sides. I'm gonna be talking about the performance side in that blog. I also have a couple of podcasts. I participate in Perfect's Español. I am the official host of the podcast. Also has been lacking some attention, but we're bringing more episodes soon. And the Perfect's in English, the original. I have been participating as host as well, together with a YouTube channel. Probably you have seen around this mustache a little bit on YouTube. I have two channels, one in English, one in Spanish. If you speak English and want to practice Spanish and vice versa, I think it's also useful not only for learning performance IT, interviews, talking to awesome people in these conferences, which actually I like to come to conferences and be up here on the stage or playing the clown and hopefully make you learn, possibly help you laugh a little bit, get a good time. I wrote a book, The Hitchhiking Guide to Load Testing Projects, helping you to navigate through a traditional load testing project, traditional performance, modern performance, some differences. But there's a QR if you want to get in touch. I'm in social networks. Feel free to send a note, like, subscribe, activate the bell, or those things. But enough of me. Today, what are we gonna be talking today? First, I want to give you the definition of what are synthetics. Because, yeah, there's a lot of wondering what is this thing, how can I eat it? Does it taste good? Will it kill me? No. I'll show you the uses together with some examples. Actually, I'm a little uneasy. I'm bringing up a live demo. So I tried my best to make it work. Let's see. And last, we're gonna get some recommendations. So let's get on with the topic, the definition. What are synthetics? Let's define them. I was wandering around the internet looking for, because I always had kind of like a concept in my mind, but I always like to go to dictionaries, and of course synthetics, it was in the dictionary talking about plastics and things like, no, that's not the ones that I'm looking for. But when I was looking for the actual synthetics related to monitoring, I found truly several. And I'm gonna just read a few of them for you that I found from different companies and organizations that kind of provide the service. I found one from Smartware, reading mode. Synthetic or directed monitoring is a method to monitor your applications by simulating users, directing the path taken through the application. This is directed monitoring provides information as the uptime and performance of your critical business transactions and most common paths of the application, which, well, they went straight away to performance. I'm looking something else, so I went to look for more. I have one from Dynatrace, where they have synthetic monitoring is an application performance monitoring practice, parentheses, it feels redundant already, that emulates the paths users might take when engaging with an application. It uses scripts to generate simulated user behavior for different scenarios, geographic locations, device types, and other variables. But again, this one is kind of getting a little bit too much on the monitoring, performance practice, and things that I have a feeling many of you here attending a Selenium conference have not thought too much about it or are too much interested. And this is kind of ironic. I'll get into that. One more. From IBM. Synthetic monitoring or synthetic testing, now testing, we're getting more on the area that I want to get to, mimics the potential behavior as they engage with your application to determine how it is working. How, in general, I'm starting to like this one a little bit more. Creating a simulation of customer behavior arms developers with information on how their application is performing against performance, okay, and impacting the user experience. Getting a little bit to where I want. And you may be wondering, hey, you're a senior performer, why are you kind of going against performance? Well, that is the point that I kind of want to do with the talk today, that synthetics are not the thing for those weird performance guys, sorry, Almo, that are just embracing and yeah, everybody get into performance. Yes, that's cool, but there are many other uses that we can have for these solutions. There was one that I liked that had a little bit more, let me put this because otherwise fall. I liked a little bit more from Wikipedia, where they define synthetics as a technique using a simulation or scripted recording of transactions. Scripts or paths simulate an action or path that a customer or end user end user will take on the site, application, or on the software, or even hardware, continuously monitored and at specified intervals, again for performance. Well, they went into some other topics, such as functionality, availability, response time measures. I like this one a little bit better because it goes to functionality, more of what we generally use Selenium and these solutions to check. But still, all these things that I was reading to you were kind of mouthful, blabbering of fancy words, right? I generally like to go in the afterwards to an easier description of what a synthetics does. Hola, ¿cómo está? Hi, how are you? And continuously, how are you? How are you? How are you? It's a little bit repetitive, but that's the point. Continuously, it's going to be asking the solution, how are you? Are you there? Are you still working as you're supposed to? In a way that is going to give us a feeling of, I like to think of the pulse of the application. Continuously finding out how is it doing, if it's doing it well, if it's doing it right, if it's still doing it, if it's still there, and many more things. And many, many more things than performance. Because yes, synthetics are very useful to find out continuously what is the performance of our application. It's part of another big practice that I'm going to mention in a few slides. But it's more than that. It has so many more uses for synthetics. They can help us on many areas, many functionalities of our applications, components, and as we read earlier today, even hardware, even not only software, even infrastructure. So what are those uses for synthetics? Of course, as I mentioned, there's performance. The key for a synthetic automation or process is that it's going to be executing at intervals frequently. Well, what's frequently? I don't know. It depends on you. How often do you want to know live? What is the health of your system? How is it doing? Every minute, every 5 minutes, every 30 minutes, every hour, once a day? There are things that probably we want to know once a day because, I don't know, a batch process that runs in the nights, I don't want to check it every hour, right? Every minute. But there are some others that are vital, like selling the potatoes you were saying earlier today. We need those potatoes to be selling like every minute. We need to be checking how are they doing. How is the software for potatoes? Because that enables the sales of everything else. So in general, a performance synthetic automation, it's an automation. A synthetic is an automation that you leave there running again and again and again for a while. Not like a load test. Different from performance testing when you have multiple of the same one hitting at the same time. No, you just need one. Just leave it running, iterating. But someone wants to think about production, aren't we going to bring it down? No, it's just one. If production cannot take one, well, you have other problems, right? So the performance is part of what we are going to be gathering from this one. It's going to check, I open an element, how fast is it responding? Okay, it took, I don't know, half a second. In 5 minutes, I'm going to ask again. It took 0.6, then it took 0.3, so it's unacceptable. And suddenly it went to 20 seconds. Oh, there, we have a problem. We have a situation here. And again, and now, how fast? And now, how fast? And now, how fast? Through this, you will detect if something is getting out of whack. The advantage of a synthetic is when you start to experience, let's say, who here, no, Facebook, no. Blue Sky, raise your hand if you use Blue Sky here. I was expecting much more. TikTok? Oh, wow. Okay, X? Yeah, almost more hands. Okay. Come on, where are the other social networks? Instagram? Okay. Well, that's better. Okay, Instagram. I saw more excitement there, more user base. Of the Instagram users that raised your hand, if Instagram starts to act seriously slow, like it takes 20 seconds each time you go to the next image, raise your hand if you create a ticket, if you raise a report. Yeah? You shake your fist and just switch to Blue Sky or TikTok or the others. Apparently no one here, almost no one does those, but the advantage of the synthetics is that none of you raised a ticket, but the synthetic knows. The synthetic is gathering this information. That's a use. And not only of the speed. Knowing how fast is it responding, you will get these metrics, right? That you know if you raise your fist, it's starting to act slow. Imagine that you have this continuous, as I was saying, half a second, 0.4, 0.6, it's around that threshold, right? And you are releasing a new piece of software. At the same time, when the new branch is coming to production, you measure it with another synthetic or just a script to just do a small test. This one is taking, I don't know, 3 seconds. Oh, that's bad. From half a second that we were taking, the next one that is coming, no, this is big, something bad, don't let it pass. So those are some of the advantages that you will get with synthetics, not only in production, because I said it's good for production. Leave them running in your other environments, in pre-prod, staging, QA, dev, all those flavors, names that you like for the other environments. You can leave them running there. As the software moves towards production, you will know that before it was taking 1 second because the dev environment is smaller and takes more time. Okay, but when it passes here and now it's taking 5 seconds, oh, hell no, you're not coming back. You're not passing through. And that's one of the advantages of synthetics around performance. But there are other kinds of performance-related actions that you can take with synthetics. Are you there? are you still alive? Again, Instagram users, if Instagram goes down, raise your hand if you create a report. You may go to Twitter or X or whatever and complain and do something. But other than that, does the Instagram IT support or, I don't know, infrastructure know that it's down from you? No. You just raise your fist, shake it, and get out of there. Close the laptop finally, or, well, the mobile, because it's Instagram. But we don't do. With synthetics, when they are constantly using the application, are you there? Are you there? If it's suddenly not there, raise the alert. Bring the alarms. Literally, one of these organizations that I mentioned several years ago, Dynatrace had an UFO that you could have in your data center that would start spinning when something happened and doing some noises. If anyone ever saw that UFO, raise your hand. You did. You did. Okay. Those were cute. Those were kind of useful. I dig them. But wait, there's more. Someone want to think about functional testing? It's important that we as well keep checking if our software works well, if it does what it's supposed to do. Not if it does it fast, in an efficient way, performing stuff, but as well that it stays doing it. And that can be because of multiple situations. We may have released a new piece of code that probably didn't pass all the functional tests or have some weird situations. Maybe another component went down and is making, I don't know, our drop-down just say, I don't know, data field, instead of like potato 1, potato 2, or some others. We want to know when that happens, when those type of things are breaking functionality, functional-wise. So that's one of the advantages. If we have some functional tests that we can keep checking on our solution to see like, hey, are you doing fine? Are you still working as you're supposed? Probably those are not as important as to do as frequent as we were with the potato selling process. I'm sorry, I'm gonna. You gave the example in the morning? We'll stick with potatoes today. Kartoffel salad then, something. A variation. If it's a critical process, probably you want to have some functionality to be checked more often. But in general, not as frequent as a performance, that it's up, that it's working fast. Just that it is working, have that test. But wait, there's even more on functionality. With synthetics, you can test the tests. If your synthetic suddenly stops finding the locator, you know that something broke on the test, not on the script, not on the test pass or fail. The script broke. You cannot find it anymore. Wouldn't you love to have this when all your test suite breaks and you find out just when you have to run them? You find out exactly at the instant moment where there was a change that broke it, instead of the second Friday of the sprint. That's when it hurts the most. Knowing and finding out right away is super powerful. And the big benefit that you will get from this, you can continuously keep checking our now agile, modular, service-oriented, microservice-oriented, changing systems that are in the cloud and have multiple instances, and branch 1, branch 2, branch blah, blah. All of these we can keep checking continuously how they are doing. A part that I like a lot about these synthetics is that since we are running something that checks continuously and extracts this state of our system, we can store it elsewhere and make it visible to everybody on the team. Everybody. Raise your hand if you have to log, have credentials, license, or whatever that makes it difficult to log into a place to watch the report of, I don't know, the QA cycles, how many tests have broken. Raise your hand if you have to do something more than just open a link. Right? Is that pretty? An advantage is that if you have this data and publish it continuously, you can put it on a public location that is visible to everyone in the organization, in the team, the CEO. Every time that they are like, hey, how is my test cycle, the release, are we going to production? I need a report. Go into the link. I just posted a dashboard. Stop bugging me. I'm doing tests, right? Stop doing reports. Those, And there's even more. When you can check, again, with these continuous changes, situations happening, the system is down, the test broke, bad performance. You can get everything, even all together. Isn't it great? You can kill several birds with the same stone. I think, muchos pájaros con una piedra. I'm not sure if that exists in Spanish, but okay. With this as well, when you have CI/CD, I gave you the examples. If the performance suddenly deviates, you can stop it. If for some reason that makes that pre-productive environments go down, you can stop it. If the functionality breaks, you can stop it. If your automations break, well, you may not be allowed to stop it, but you need to fix your automations quickly. You will know right away what happened. Many of these principles that you will need for synthetics to work in the way that I'm describing are very well related to the principles of observability. That's another talk that I have that someone beat me to it in this conference. If you were yesterday with Yannis Papadakis' presentation on observability, probably you know the principles. But if you didn't, because again, you have to choose between one talk and the other, for observability, you gotta put, it's called instrumentation. It's like a probe that you put, maybe this movement is kind of ugly, but you gotta insert some software or some device that will give you information about that thing that you want to observe. That device will generate information and send it. That's called telemetry, which you will store somewhere so that you can access it later or live or whenever you need to visualize it. That's the principle of observability, a little bit of what I described at this moment, and that you can keep generating constantly through synthetics. Synthetics are not the core of observability, but an interesting part. And this has had several different uses, not only for functional tests or for... There's a very funny use that was shared to me not long ago that was done to do some synthetics auditing. You know, was it the state, Almo? Was it for the state here, the government? A company, right? Okay, for a company. So this company had the requirement that the network at the company blocked all sites. How do we know? Well, trying to open those all sites to see if it's working. It must have been a very funny synthetic that was like, can I still access to this? Can I still? Porn, 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 porn? No, no porn? Okay. If eventually it's like, yes, porn, oh, we have an issue. I want to see where that synthetic is running. No, no, no. But it has diverse uses, many, many things that you can do with synthetics. That's not only porn, there are many, many others. But I'm going to show you now, bring you some examples that are the ones that have me a tiny bit nervous right now. But let's see if I can pull them off. Now, the examples, if you want to go on your own, dive on it and check what are these things doing, they are available in that repository. You can check it out. I created some as well for Appium. Very simple, really, really straightforward. Appium users, probably you will say like, this is just meh. The point is simple, so that we show off the synthetics functionality. Today we will focus on Selenium and a simple web application. As I said, we need the tested system. I created a very simple web application that we are going to be testing. The test script or scripts that we are going to be executing continuously, somewhere to store the results. I like a lot InfluxDB because it's time-based database where you just insert measurements, status, records. You don't care about tables, indexes, location. No, 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 no. What were the latest values? And you can gather that information. There are other options to influx. You could use, I don't know, Elastic, Prometheus. There are many, many others that you can use. Even a regular database or a text file, I wouldn't recommend that, but you can. As long as you have a place that many can access with that information, good. We're just going to be storing pass, fail, performance metrics, nothing super secret. You don't need like the super secure database. A way to view the results. Today we're going to use Grafana. You can use Kibana, many other ANAs. There's a Perfana somewhere over there. And many visualizations. If you put good macros on your Excel and put like the little graphs that Excel, you can pull that off. So, and something that schedules the continuous execution, like every time keeps running your script. So, first, I'm going to show you the little application that I created so that you get a taste. I think it was towards this side. Yeah. Okay. Where's my pointer? Super simple website. The basic Selenium tests. Clicking a button, checking an alert, seeing if the form is submitted, text inputs, drop-downs, simple tables. The classic, with the locators, looking for all the elements. This is the site that we are going to use. Now, I created it. Now I am having a mess with my pointer. I created. Okay. Can you see it? Is it clear enough? Okay. So I have a Selenium system under test, SUT. I created one. It just focuses on responding, but I wanted to add a performance element. So I have one with performance, which down here, down here, you can select what is the delay. I didn't want it to create a database and make it slower. You just tell him, take in between half a second and 3 seconds. Every response is going to be taking between that. So I can control it and show you what happens when the system gets slow. I cannot show you, yeah, the pointer is driving me crazy. I cannot show you up here because it's going to do much more mess. But here I have InfluxDB running, Grafana running, the script running continuously. I already, as you were listening to me talking and blabbling here, blah, 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 it was running. It was continuously checking the site. I was already gathering information and an output. I know this is kind of small to see, but there are past very green marks. Probably you can see them. Means that it's working and it's telling me continuously. If I wanted, I could go and check right inside of the prompt, the terminal, to see how it is doing. But let's see our first script. Back here, I think I can see it a little bit better here. I have the initial script that I started to work with. It goes through each one of the steps. It checks that the alert is appearing, checks that in the next page appears, all the standard. Very, very straightforward tests that probably many of you have already have your rounds with in Selenium. Waits for elements to appear. It does all the tests. Now, I created one simpler, shorter, that only clicks on the form. It's clicking continuously, submitting something. At the end of the page, it checks how long it took. That's my performance script, the one that I was mentioning to you. It is running continuously. And now, where is my window? I'm going to show you Grafana. No, it's on the other side. Here. Can you see it? It's good? Okay. Here, I created a panel, a visualization with a time series that is telling me how long is it taking every time that it does a click. It's in between half a second and 3 seconds, as you can see. I'm going to play a little bit dirty. And as I was telling you, I can modify that on my script, on my web page. So let's go to index perf. I'm going to edit from half a second to 5 seconds. And the upper limit, to make it, let's say, 8. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to release it into production. For me, I'm just going to stop and start the server. So very straightforward. So I already inserted a change into production that will degrade the performance, will create a problem. Oh, we already see it. Right away, it showed up. We noticed that the system has a performance issue. We can configure this to send an alert, to send a Twitter, I don't know, to Slack, to whatever we want, create login effect, do as many things as we want when this is detected. Okay, sorry, let me fix it. Let's go back, bring it to what it was before. Okay, save it. And let me stop it and start it. And now we should see that it goes back to normal, almost right away. Is it? Nope. I think I killed the page. No, it's running. Just taking a little bit. My synthetic is configured to run every 20 seconds. So, bear with me. We should have a new status anytime now. And if that is not there, it's back, it's working, we're fine. Now, as I told you, there's another functionality that we can achieve here. I should have brought my glasses for this. The SRE part, where it's going to be checking if the system is alive, if it's working as it's supposed to. I created a dashboard for that as well, that will... Can you tell that a moment ago I turned it off? It said system went down, it's back. All of this through a Selenium script. The Selenium script is reporting all of this. One is, yes, I'm up. I was lazy and I didn't create an up or down indicator. You'll see it later. What if I kill it? Let's, oh, come on with the pointer. Let's kill it. Da, da, da. It's not working. Whenever the script tries to execute again, it's going to hit a wall because the web page is down. We can see it. I think we had another web page here. Let's try to reload it. Uh-oh. For some reason, it's running my blog. That was not supposed to happen, but yeah. Grafana detected that the system is down. It's telling us a 0. The line went down, and it's going to be down until someone like, hey, call support, the system is down, instead of you just shaking your hand at Instagram, right? As I was saying earlier. Okay. Let me bring back the system. You call your AWS guy, turns the cloud on, and after that, you will see that the status is updated. And through this synthetic, you continuously have a feeling of what is the deal with the system. Now, okay, yeah, it found it, and it's on. See? Magia. Now, I have another, where is it? That does, again, just with the form submission. It submits a value on the form, checks that the other page has received it, and says, you passed or you fail. I'm seeing the pass here with that form. Let's go to the dashboard that I created to see. Oh, it's not passing. Uh-oh. Houston, we have a problem. Let me quickly check. Probably last night. Let me bring this back to the screen that I can see. Come on, Visual Studio. Okay. I didn't notice that it wasn't passing. Okay. I left it broken from last night that I was playing with it. I know where is the problem. I hope. I see you. Save. It was detecting that there was a bug that I just detected, that inserted by accident a moment ago. Let's save it, stop the server, bring up the server, and let's see. Where's my page? Okay, localhost is back up. Yeah. On the form submission, oh, it's passing now, right? What did I do? So that the script fails, where is the, there you go. Everybody told me that you can read this, but for the sake of the quasi-land guide that you have here, I'm going to make this ridiculously big because I cannot see it well from up here. Okay, there you go. What I did on this web page a moment ago that I was playing last night was on the output, on the submission page, the result page, I just added here in the user input, I missed it. I was like, yeah, that's an error, because on the next page it will detect that is not the input. I will stop my service, start it again, and it was passing a moment ago, and in 20 seconds, when the script decides to run again, we're gonna see that it should fail. It's not failing? No. Okay, now it's not failing. Great tests, right? This is always what happens with demos. Did I change it in the right place? Oh. Shortcut for Windows, I'm in Mac. Okay, thank you. That's the advantage of having so many eyes on the situation. Yeah. Especially testers, yeah, thank you. Okay, kill it again. And start it again. And let's go back to our Grafana. And I have here the monitor of the process that is continuously running and giving me the prompts. 20 seconds. Come on, fail on me, fail. Not what a tester usually says, right? But okay, it failed. Now it sent that status to the database, and now that one failed. One of my tests, because I have multiple in my application. And that's not the only one. We have another that I created that tests the script. Will report if it cannot find a locator, something's missing, if it's more an error coming from the script rather than the app failing. Now, first, I should fix that thing that I changed. Uh-oh, I switched window. Where was my other window? This is gonna be, okay, here. I added 2 X's. So, to make our script, to break our script, I have to change probably the button name. Where's my button? Form submission. Let's form input. Let's add that simple T. Stop it, restart it, and go back to our Grafana where I created another dashboard that already said form input not found, possible issue. And you can be as creative as you want, like say, add some locator, what line of my automation broke, what function, what module, what element, then this is super useful. Imagine having this on all your test suite. Right away you will know what broke when. Who changed what that broke, and that gives you a lot of possibilities to backtrack and figure out what is the problem. And you may be saying, well, this is cool, but first let me get this back to order and to work again. Stop the service. started. And now, but there's more. Probably you noticed that I have another script here called altogether. On this single Selenium script, I'm checking the performance. I'm checking that the site is up. I am checking the functionality, that the post is sending information and returning information, and that the script is still healthy. Everything in a single script. Again, focusing only on the form submission. And that's super punctual, right? Well, I also created a Grafana dashboard that has everything at the same time. We can see what happened earlier, that it went down, that the performance degraded, that it had functional problems, and so on. So that was the demo. We survived. Phew. Now, the performance run, the reliability run. We can use that for CI/CD, as you saw, when the performance goes up and we compare to the previous, I don't know, heartbeat that we had, was good. We did the functional tests, we tested the tests, and all these got mixed up for a CI/CD with functionality in mind. Imagine the possibilities. I already saw many of you like whispering, like, oh my God, we could do blah, blah, blah. I heard voices, yeah, excitement, I saw it all over the place. But there are some tips and tricks, some things that we need to take into account. First, make sure that your automation is simple and fast. Don't try to do those 50 steps, pages, clicking here, clicking there. No, 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 no. Try, please, 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 to stick to the automation pyramid. Or the synthetic pyramid, now I'm renaming it. If you need or are interested for a long end-to-end set of steps, have only one. Don't have 2,000 Selenium scripts in our base of automations, because I know several organizations that have too many automations, more than they should. Only have one that checks key elements on your page for performance, uptime, functional, and porn if you need, and many other things if it's needed. A solution, if you cannot, if there are too many steps, split the solution. Raise your hand if you know about the Konami code. I expect a lot of hands here, please. Okay, you know why the Konami code came up? It was for testers. No, not for the kids that wanted to finish the game finally. No, it was so that the tester could get to the testing point at a faster rate, have unlimited lives, have the warp zones at the end to get to Bowser right away and test the level. We need to create those Konami codes for our application so that we go straight into that form submission that we want to test before the 50 billion steps before. Be very selective. Key tests, key steps, and be creative. Maybe you will think of more possible tests, more possible situations. And I just noticed that I exceeded my time. Sorry for the demo, it took too long, but I hope you learned a lot. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you on the next time.
Yeah, thank you, Leandro. That's a great
Sorry
talk.
for that, I didn't notice it.